everyone, and welcome back to another SFF Speak Out. We had another brilliant week of football in the books and a lot of situations to discuss. So I'm going to get straight into it. I thought one big thing from this week was the Jets-Patriots game. Now, we've seen the Jets so far this season surprise us all. Not only just playing great football, but winning games. And even to the point where if they'd beaten the Patriots, they'd have been top of their division. And they pulled it close with the Patriots right down to the last second, and many people feel they were cost a touchdown right at the end of the game. That could have changed the outset, it could have changed how things went, but instead the Patriots wound up with the win. Now, personally, I've heard a few people say this and I agree. Whereas I think the rule itself is a silly rule, the call on the field wasn't wrong, seeing as that rule is there. So I don't blame the referees because they made a call that was correct given that that ruling is there. Now, should that ruling be there? That's debatable, so have a go with that in the comments. Let me know what you think. I think personally maybe it is a bit of a silly rule, but you can't blame the refs. They're only doing their job. Now, big news in the league. I'm sure you've heard already. Aaron Rodgers is down and out for the season, and we wish him all the best, obviously, because this is a really sad situation to see for any professional athlete, let alone one that has such a big impact on the NFL and was right up there in the MVP conversation as usual. Now, Brett Hundley looked shaky. He seemed to make the wrong type of throws. There were points where he should have been bulleting and he was lofting, and points where he was lofting and he should have been bulleting. And this led to him throwing a few interceptions. I do think, though, the Packers made the right decision in sticking with him despite this, because this will give a chance for them to develop someone that they've invested in as a draft pick of the team. So it'll be interesting to see how he shapes up in the coming weeks. We know he's a good athlete from his days at UCLA, so he has a lot of potential to be a very good quarterback. Now, another big story in the NFL at the moment to go along with this is after going 6 weeks without being signed by an NFL team, Colin Kaepernick has filed a collusion grievance against the NFL and its owners. On a somewhat related note, 749ers were kneeling, so he's clearly had his impact on that franchise. And there needs to be a resolution. Everyone has different opinions on it, but it'll be interesting to see how things go there. I'm sure a settlement will come soon. Now, we also saw the injury scare to Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette, but in the end it turns out, hopefully, that it's nothing too serious. And he's been playing really good football this year, so I've really enjoyed watching his hard running style. And again, I hope he's doing alright and wish him the best with his recovery. Another funny moment from the week was Kiko Alonso. Now, he could have levelled Taylor Gabriel. If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube, Game Pass, whatever your access, because he did something totally hilarious. Instead of hitting him, he just carried him for about 10 yards. And no, this wasn't a flag. They all let it go, and it was done in a good-hearted way. I thought it was quite funny to see. Now, the Saints' defense was really big this week. They actually broke the record for passes batted down in the game, which I believe was 14 in the end. And they dominated, scoring touchdowns and just completely shutting down the Lions' offense. There was not much they could do. They had a little bit of a comeback in the middle of the game, and then they soon shut that down as well. They looked really impressive. If they can get both phases of the ball together on the same day, they could be a very dangerous team going forward. If you haven't heard already as well, how many NFL records does Tom Brady need? Surely one more can't hurt, right? Well, he went and got it. He's now the most winning quarterback in NFL history. And on top of that, he has more wins than a number of franchises in NFL history, which is crazy to think about. Now, there's a few other points. Martavis Bryant has said he's unhappy and wants to trade. I'm sure you've heard this already. But the Steelers at the moment are unwilling to trade him. So he's going to be forced to play. So this could make for an interesting dynamic for weeks to come. So if there's any Steelers fans, please let me know what you think of this situation and the play of Bryant as a whole below in the comment section. Also, we had CJ Beathard break out in his first opportunity at game time. He looked really good and actually nearly brought the 49ers back to victory. So I think they've made the right decision once again, sticking with him for the job. He looked really, really good, made some nice reads throughout the day. And for his first start next week, I'll give you a full breakdown on things there. So if you're a 49ers fan, that's something to look forward to. But he looked really impressive in his first performance against the Redskins. Now, if you didn't see the Chiefs-Steelers game, it was a typical case of if it isn't broke, don't fix it. The Steelers have been struggling offensively with Ben Roethlisberger having a down year, but they just kept pounding the ball with Le'Veon Bell and the Chiefs couldn't stop it. He made Daniel Sorensen look silly on a number of plays. Having said that, Alex Smith also had a rough day, and he's been my MVP pick for thus far in the season, and I'm still sticking with him. Even though he didn't have a great start to the game, he made some MVP plays down the stretch. For example, eluding a few defenders and getting the ball off to Hunt, and the 50-yard touchdown at the end. And he has made clutch plays. He has 3 game-winning drives this year, which is tied for the most in the NFL, and 1 comeback win already as well. So, in fairness to him, it's not that he can't do it. Yeah, did he have a great showing? Did he miss some plays at the end? Sure. But so do all good quarterbacks. No one's going to play 16 perfect games in a year. And he did have a few MVP moments down the stretch and was, let's face it, one absolutely amazing but miraculous Antonio Brown catch off the helmet of Gaines away from actually probably winning that game. So it was an interesting finish. And also, if you didn't see on the play mentioned before where he was evading defenders, there was a late hit from Mike Mitchell, and he has furiously gone after Mike for this. He shouted in his face at the game. We saw him get right up in his face about it, saying that's not right. And I'm with Smith. The hit looked late, it looked dirty, and as much as Mike Mitchell's come out and said, I'm not a dirty defender, as Smith pointed out, that hit was about as flagrant as it gets. It wasn't necessary, and Mike Mitchell was not a first-time offender in this situation either. So look for that to play its part in weeks to come. And finally, Monday Night Football last week. Who saw the Bears' awesome 2-point conversion? Yep, Mitchell Trubisky is smooth, and he proved it again this week with a nice overtime win over the Ravens. And one player from the Ravens that I'd like to give a quick mention to has to be Alex Collins. He's been running hard all season long. He's making really nice cuts, some nice moves. So you've got to give him credit where credit's due. He's doing a good job, even if Joe Flacco and that Ravens offense is struggling a bit. Finally, the NBA season has returned. So look for some articles on my WordPress. If you don't follow already, please go and follow that. The link will be below. And also for highlights from the NBA season, my other YouTube channel, which I use for highlights, SamFranFanAD, has all the best highlights, so go check that out. Again, the link will be below, and please subscribe here as well. Also, don't forget to comment your Eliminator picks for the week to continue the contest. Thanks very much for listening, and I'll see you guys next week.